Hello tribe, it's Malu Readings. We are going to be doing two video classes for this Learning Monday. I'm going to be talking about the Clairognizant ability that it was the one that it was meant for last Monday because I was doing some business. I was in Puerto Rico. I didn't have the chance to record and do this for you guys. And the second part is another video that we're going to be talking about the class that is meant for today that is going to be about Clairsentient. So let's start with the first part of the video, the first class that we're going to be seeing and watching today. Talking about Clairognizant. Clairognizant is one of the six most important abilities through the ESP that we already talked about it. Clairognizant is the ability to know clearly without knowing how you know what you know. People call it intuition, but the truth is, it's more than intuition. Intuition is just part of it. It's the way that basically is the engine of that. So the Clairognizant have different way to being feel or to receive, but basically it's just knowing. That's the way that you will kind of describe this. So having that, saying that, one of the things that you need to know that Clairognizant is one of those abilities that most of the time work with another ability. Most of the time when you know something and it's the strong ability with you, you're gonna immediately know, but it's as soon as you receive that knowledge, you're gonna be receiving maybe an audio, a feeling. Clairognizant and Clairsentience most of the time work really hand to hand, or clairvoyant, so that you're gonna see something. So when you are going through all of the Clairognizant, one of the physical manifestation of the Clairognizant ability is going to be a lot of headaches. Why? Because you are literally connected directly, so the Clairognizant works with the source. That means that you are connected with the source, with the where it is all of this collective conscious, where all of the information about you and other people are, and even the universe and stuff is kind of safe, or like a library or something like that. So that's why most of the time when you are developing the Clairognizant ability, you're gonna have a lot of headaches. It's like clairvoyant. The difference is like clairvoyant, when you are trying to develop that ability, you're gonna feel the headaches most of the time in this area that is where the third eye is located. When it's Clairognizant, it's going to be more in here, and it's going to feel more like a pressure, like someone is holding your head and is putting a lot of information over there. So don't be afraid. That is really normal for you to feel it. Another way that I would say, like, intuition is kind of a sub ability, because you're gonna have people that they are really into receive intuitively or intuitive way information, that they just kind of receive it like, oh, my intuition is telling me, because maybe it's not a knowing sensation like how Clairognizant work, but still you have some kind of knowing kind of thing going on, or like maybe you're suspecting something, let it put it that way. Then you have what we call gut uh, sensation. That is a mixture, or like a mixing thing between Clairognizant and Clairsentient, that you're gonna feel it in your stomach. When you have both of them as a strong ability, Clairognizant and Clairsentient, that we are going to be talking later, you're gonna feel it most of the time in your stomach, but it still is going to be a feeling sensation of something that you knew, if that makes sense. See how I told you that they tend to work hand to hand? Another way is like with Clairognizant, most of the time, thought. Not necessarily that you're gonna be feeling that you know things. You're gonna be receiving thought as like maybe ideas, answers to certain things that are going through, etc. So you have to have that in mind. Not necessarily everything is going to be a knowing sensation. Sometimes it's the answer to something, sometimes it's receiving information about something. The only thing is like you really know that you know the information. By example, maybe you never read about, I don't know, like the weather changing, or about music, but you know about it out of nowhere. Someone start talking to you about it, and you just know there's some kind of information that you get it, and you start talking with that person, and maybe you don't know what you're talking about, but the information that you are receiving, the other person know what you're talking about. So that's a way to receive information through the clairognizant. Not always it's going to be I know this, like you really know. Sometimes it's just like I have this information, they're telling me about this, so I'm receiving this. So no matter that you feel you really don't know, like knowing or like you don't feel what you are talking about, you will trust that information because you are so sure of what you are receiving that you're not going to doubt it. And that's really important, sweeties. When you are working with the clairognizant ability, is one of the most important ones for you to trust in what you're receiving and not doubt it. Because when you start doubting yourself that you're receiving that information, you're going to put yourself some kind of blockage, and then the information could have some kind of issues getting to you. This ability as clairsentient and clairaudient, it could be really difficult to develop because it's the one that people tend to oversee. With this, I mean that because it's the ability that each person have. And I wanna say, I'm not going to say maybe clairsentient, clairognizant. I would say like the part of it that is the intuition. That's the part that receive the information and then we know. So everyone have the intuition. Like I said, it's like a sub ability. So everyone have that. Everyone is going to be talking about it, but it's so normal, and we are living in a so busy society that we just kind of like forget about it. We get used to, so we don't do exercises. We really don't go over, and we don't try to see how else we can do, like how big it could be or how strong it could be. We just live by it, let it go, and that's it. So don't get surprised that maybe you have a real strong clairognizant ability, but you never knew because it was something normal for you. You kind of have a life going through and you never really think about it. So how you know that you have this ability? First, one of the things that you want to put attention is that you always receive ideas out of nowhere. I'm telling you, you can be write it down, you can be maybe thinking about something out of nowhere, an idea, a thought come to your mind, and boom, that's the perfect solution. That's an idea that you can do. You're thinking about a business and out of nowhere, poof, this. Or maybe you're trying to make a proposition, maybe you're trying to do a more bigger deal, and you just get an idea. That's your clairognizant working, that thought, that idea that is working with you. Sometimes people that have clairognizant abilities that in a really strong, it will be through they tend to write a lot. I can tell you that I spent all of my life writing things. I used to have a lots of diaries, and then when I started doing this, I saw that my tendency to write was because I needed to do a journal with all of this, and then everything get more sense for me. But they're saying that when you have an unquiet mind, that you're always thinking, no matter that you're trying, maybe you don't have a reason to be thinking, or maybe you are always writing things, stupid things, important things, but you're always kind of writing, that's a sign that you have clairognizant. And another way is that you are an interrupter. And I kind of have that problem too. So if you find yourself that you are in a conversation and you get bored because like you know what the person is going to say, because you just know, you're gonna be like, okay, can you just do this? And because sometimes you just get information that you get that thought, that knowing, you're gonna be interrupting the person saying, oh yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. That could happen, no matter that you try not to. So don't feel sad, don't feel mad because you are doing it. It's part of your trails as a clairognizant. That's something that you need to get over with. You'll try to control it, but it's not something that you're gonna avoid to do it. Another way is that you get answered. Maybe you're having this situation, this problem going on, or maybe you are worried about someone, without you knowing, you are asking questions. Sometimes we just like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do, or oh, what I can do to help this person. You are asking questions out of the blue because maybe you're worried, maybe you're thinking too much. And maybe that day, maybe 2 days later, but you're gonna get an answer. Oh, you just have to do this. Oh, I can do this. Why you don't do that? Sometimes these answers is like someone else is telling you to do it. It could be a spirit or it could be your own ability, but you know that is you because no matter that is in another way, you don't feel like external presence or you don't recognize. You know that is no one else. That is you. Again, don't doubt it. Don't second guess whatever you receive. The first is the right one. Okay, sweetie? But most of the time you're gonna get answers and stuff like that. Another way that you know is that you always have a good sense with people. Not good sense, like you have a really good, I would say, judgment of people. And I say judgment not because you're judging. I say judgment because you already know if that person is trustworthy, if that person is doing, if that person is lying. You will know it. It's not that you feel it, it's like you just know. And sometimes knowing it, you're gonna be like, I know that it's lying because of this and this and this. And life and situations, the universe are always going to prove you. So don't doubt it. Trust in that. Because you are knowing you have an access to a direct database that is telling you, don't trust that person. Or it's telling you, don't trust in what it's saying because it's lying. So trust in that, but it's going to be a knowing sensation. Most of the time, another way is like people go to you to tell you about their problems. It could be because you are clairsentient too. Impact people have that problem, but the people that go to you, they're looking for something more logical, not emotional. So they're going to tell you the problem because they're looking for a logical mental fix. People that have clairognizant, the problem with them is like they have a tendency to know things, but their mind, the logic mind, is really on sharp. They have a way to find the answers, to work with logic, numbers, and stuff like that. So that's the kind of people that they're going to be attracting to, because the clairognizant is so good finding that logic that they're going to be kind of attracting that kind of people. Don't just that, they are going to like to read, to write, because they need to learn through that phase. Maybe they like to watch, and like you guys, you are here and you are preferring to learn in this way than maybe going through the process to all of the information that it is. But still, you are trying to find a way to learn that is going to be more into the point, more easy for you to digest, etc., etc. But it's always about learning. A lot of clairognizant people, they always have this hungry to learn more and more about specific certain things. Like I was saying, that's kind of the things that I was kind of thinking about. You can recognize if you have it that happen daily, day by day. You always receive it through intuition and stuff. So, having saying that, how you develop this ability? One of the things that you can do to develop this ability is really asking questions to yourself and see what kind of answers you receive. Like I said, it's not an easy ability to develop because we are so used to that it really make undercover or without you realizing it that you have it. So when you are developing this ability, you need to first ask yourself questions about things that you know, but in a more about maybe people, or maybe asking questions about people or with people that you don't know the answer, so to see if you receive the answer that way. I will say that I'm trying to figure out another way for you to, like the center cards, like I said, they're good for that too, like knowing the answer instead of trying to see it or feeling it, just trying to know the answer. But basically when you're trying to meditations are always good, but the truth is like the best way for you to know if you have the clairognizant ability is through practicing knowing things, how to say about people. You can, by example, your sister, your brother, your kids, your loved one, whatever, is asking you, or you're maybe talking about something, before they tell you something, that let them say, hey, let me try something, I need to practice this. Ask me a question that in a knowing kind of way to see how I get, like if I get the right answer. not the right answer, to see what I get, because sometimes you're gonna know certain things that maybe is not necessarily what the person is asking to, but it's related to. So you can ask the person, what kind of, do you know what kind of color that person have the hair, or if you don't never meet that person and stuff like that. Did you know the color? Did you know? They have to ask that question that way, so you can check, and you maybe like you can do it in that kind of way as well. Something that I have to let you know, telepathy is one of the sub abilities of claircognizant. People tend to say, oh my God, you're reading my thought. Oh my God, you are this and that. But the truth is like it's not. The truth is, telepathy is the ability to be able to receive or portray or send, I would say, to receive or send thought. So you need two claircognizant people sending ability. Like I say, intuition is something that everyone has. So in some kind of degree or certain kind of degree, each one of us can be able to send and receive. It's just a few people that they can do both. But most of the time, some kind of telepathy, some kind of claircognizant or telepathy people are going to be the receiver, and other ones are going to be the sending. So for you to figure it out, if you have that sub ability, that in some kind of way, because intuition is there, you're gonna have some degree of that, especially if you have the claircognizant ability. Just start practicing with people. Check first. You send the messages. Tell them, I'm concentrating in a number. First, do it more easy. So 1 to 5, 1 to 10, or something like that. I'm sending a message about a number or maybe a color, something like, and see if the person, try that with different person, because remember you are looking to see if you are a sending person. So you need to check if maybe 3 or 4 people can do it. I would say between 6 or 7, something like that. Then with those same people, do it in the other contrary. Like maybe they're telling you, okay, I'm concentrating in a color, what color it is. So you're gonna try to open yourself, and you're gonna feel that you're an antenna and you're receiving that. So literally, you're gonna visualize yourself like an antenna, and you're gonna visualize yourself receiving. Just be careful, because if the person is thinking about something else, you're not gonna receive clearly, or you're gonna receive whatever the person was thinking. So maybe the person is telling you what color I'm thinking, but he's thinking in a shape and stuff like that. You're gonna say like, you know what? I didn't see a color, but I did receive this. I know that you're talking, or like a thought come to me. And they're gonna be like, oh my God, maybe it wasn't exactly, but it was related in some kind of way. So you have to make sure that the person is just thinking in what you tell them, or they told you that they're thinking. Okay, sweetie, but that's an ability that is kind of fun to discover, and to discover with who you are more synchronized, because of course you're gonna be able to be more in connection with some than others, and that's amazing. So that's how telepathy works. It's not that you're reading minds. It's just like, because you know if you are a receiver or a sender, it's going to be more easy for you to distinguish each one of them. So besides that, that's one of the things that you can do to try it. I'm gonna try to see if we can do some exercises when we do the live class that is going to be soon. We can practice all of this in on live. Okay, sweeties. So I think that's all for this class. I'm gonna be doing now the other video about the clairsentient ability. So I hope that you stay and watch the other one. See you later.